Hey gorgeous humans, I hope you're all doing well. My name is practise and this video is going to be on embracing beginner mode. If you like what you're about to hear, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell button down below, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, all the fun stuff, and let's get into it. So for me personally, I was raised by very strict parents who had very high expectations for me, particularly academically, but essentially anything I did, I had to be the best at it and perfect at it. And I don't know that this is necessarily a bad thing, but where it came to my academics in particular, I had to be an A-star student. That was the grading they were using at the time, so I might have just aged myself. I had to be perfect. There was no room for failure. There wasn't even room for less than perfect success. There was only one option. Whilst I can't categorize that as being entirely bad, I will say that it did instill in me a pretty strong fear of failing, because when I did bring home a grade that was less than stellar, it was a problem. It was a serious problem, and also a perception and an understanding of success as being the act of always succeeding and always being great, which I don't believe now is an accurate thing. And it also, I think, on another level instilled in me a discomfort with trying things that I didn't think I would immediately be good at. And I will say that that has carried into my present life, and that is something that I'm recently discovering has been holding me back a little bit. I am finding it hard to face the idea of being bad at things, and being bad at things is the only way to get good at things. You start things out and you have to accept that there is a high possibility that if you've never done this before, or you've not done this in a while, you're not going to be great at it. You're not going to be perfect, and that's okay, because the more you do it, the more you learn and the more you grow, and practice makes perfect and everything. However, that is really hard for me to accept, because as a child and as a teen, everything had to be perfect pretty much first time. And I'm coming to a point in life where, as I grow and as I learn and as I discover myself, I actually want to try new things again. Like, I want to try my hand at certain things and just explore different ways to express myself, and I find this fear creeping back up. And I'm finding now that those feelings are essentially holding me back and making me judge myself and making me second guess myself so much that I just don't do some of the things that I really want to do. And I don't want to be held back by thoughts like that. So with that being said, I am embracing the idea of being a beginner again, and I am choosing to learn to get comfortable with being a beginner. Being a beginner meaning that I'm gonna suck at certain things, and it's gonna be okay, and the world will not end when I do suck. And by sucking at things first, I will actually continue to get more comfortable with things and grow and learn and improve. And I'm looking to embrace curiosity. And with that being said, these are some of the things that I'm going to be sort of focusing on mentally and mentality wise, so that I am able to counteract those thoughts that come up when I am trying something new. Those thoughts of, well, you're not getting this perfect, and if it's not perfect, it's not worth doing. I think the first big one for me is learning to get really comfortable with not being good at things. Because I was raised in a situation where perfection was the only acceptable answer, I have learned a little bit incorrectly that if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter and it's not worth it. But the truth is that done is better than perfect. So there are going to be some things that I'm just going to do, knowing that they're not going to be perfect, but knowing that I've given them my best shot. And that will be with the hope of, if I keep doing them and keep putting myself out there and keep showing up for myself, over time I will improve, over time I'll grow, and I'll eventually get to the point where I don't feel so anxious about those things. I've actually gotten better at those things, and then I can move on to other new things and get comfortable with that idea of being a beginner. I think learning new things is fun, and I want to rediscover the fun in those things again. The second thing I'm going to be focusing on is being my own source of validation, so that I'm not relying on external validation to tell me that I'm on the right path. With some of the things that I enjoy and I want to do more of, they are quite outward facing, and so in doing those things I am putting myself out there in a sense to be perceived and received by other people. That being said, it's really important for me to be my own source of validation, so that regardless of the reception that certain things receive, I know that they were valid and were good things before I put them out there. That's not to say that I'm averse to criticism, but it is to say that regardless of like how many likes or how many claps or whatever the case may be, whatever that external validation is, however much of that or little of that I receive, especially in early stages, I know that what I'm doing is good. I have decided that I'm on the right path, and I'm able to pivot if I find that maybe I feel that I'm on the wrong one. The next thing is knowing that there's nothing that is currently second nature to me that wasn't at one point at least a little bit difficult. I think it's really easy for me to forget that all the things I currently am good at took some level of work, took some level of not being very great at those things in order to then get good at them. And I think that's quite comforting in a sense, because if those things took repetitive failures essentially and kind of sucking a little bit to get better at them, and I did, and now I can do them with my eyes closed, then so too with consistent trying can anything else that I put my mind to and put my hand to. And so yeah, I'm just gonna use that, my track record essentially, my past, as a driving force to remind myself that all of the things that I'm finding hard or difficult or even a little cringe right now are going to be second nature to me if I just keep pushing on. The last thing I'm going to be doing is implementing systems for myself in order to help me stay consistent. I've done a lot of work in terms of my core beliefs about myself, and I'm really, really proud of that. But one thing I'm realizing is that just because I believe I can doesn't mean automatically that I immediately will. And I think I had somewhat thought that those two would go hand in hand. I think that believing that you can is necessary but not sufficient. I think it's so important to have good systems in place to facilitate getting the things done that we want to do and being consistent in showing up for ourselves in the ways that we want to show up for ourselves. But yeah, here's to being a beginner, here's to sucking at things, and here is to continued growth. There is so much to learn from the moments where we fail. There is so much that we can gain from those moments. I'm learning to be more accepting of the fact that failing is a part of the journey to success. But yeah, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Talk to me down below. I love hearing from you guys. And yeah, I will see you in my next one. Bye.